a straight up Roman salute. It's getting a little uncomfortable even for me.
CPAC was such a far-right clown show that even tiny mustache enthusiast Nick Fuentes is saying, hey guys, maybe we're going a bit too far. This all after President Musk shows up in the middle of what can only be described as a drug-fueled bender, waving around a chainsaw wearing gold chains and dark sunglasses, but also Steve Bannon doing his best impression of a streetlight. Let's get into why the Groyper Prince himself is having a hard time with this out-and-about bigotry. But first I want to remind you guys to like the video if you're liking the video, and double check that you're subscribed. Every subscription lets us know that you feel like Captain America. You guys remember Nick Fuentes, right? This guy?
The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, whoa! We control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again.
Don't worry, by the way, he definitely got what was coming to him when he posted that last clip.
I'm here for my life. People have been posting my address online for the past 3 days, telling me they're coming to kill me.
Well, personally, if you feel like you have the right to other people's bodies, what's wrong with somebody else just showing up at your house, right, Nick Fuentes? But old Nicky here wasn't exactly excited about the way CPAC went off. I mean, nobody was really excited about it, except maybe the AfD party in Germany. First of all, this idiot was there with those stupid glasses and that dumb dark MAGA hat, and I think he thinks he looks cool, or at least his base does, but in reality, the guy can barely speak. Check this out.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, you know, like, look, you know, he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
it's not worth 8 cents.
But you know, there's the, but the, yeah, it was essentially to you know, buy freedom of expression.
Jesus, what was he bumbling about? Trying to make a joke about the fact that Twitter's valuation is in the toilet now that he bought it and ran it into the ground? I mean, way to remind us that you bought the damn site for $44 billion, and now what's it worth? Just $9 billion. Now that's a lot to me, and I'm not a big money guy, but I think $44 billion is a lot higher than $9 billion. I can't believe this is the guy everyone thinks is such a genius businessman. And then, because I guess he didn't feel like he looked lame enough, he pulled a little stunt like his let that sink in thing with Twitter and pulled out a chainsaw, because I guess him and Doge are treating the government like they're the main character in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that brings us to the offspring of Satan and Rush Limbaugh, Steve Bannon, who decided at the end of his very clearly nationalist speech to do this.
And we're not going to retreat, we're not going to surrender, we're not going to quit. Fight, fight, fight! Amen.
You guys all saw that, right? He just did the Roman salute, a favorite hand gesture of a certain meth-using Austrian painter. I mean, these guys are going completely mask off with their dog whistles. They can't even really be called dog whistles anymore. It's more just like a here boy, completely taking the Scooby-Doo mask off and revealing yourself to be the old crotchety Nazi the whole time. But it was so clearly and so obvious a hate salute that even Nick Fuentes had to call him out on it.
This was some sick shit. Bannon gets up there and says, I think Trump's gonna run in 28. He goes, we want Trump. And then he throws up a straight up Roman salute. It's getting a little uncomfortable even for me. Even I'm starting to feel like that guy in the picture that wouldn't hail Hitler. It's even getting a little uncomfortable, and I'm saying that, you know? And I was writing policy memos for Supreme Leader Kanye West, okay? I was writing policy papers based on Hitler's policies for Supreme Leader Ye. And it's getting even a little excessive for me. Bannon goes up there and he's like, Trump is our guy in 28. Person like that only comes around twice in a country's history. We want Trump. And then a straight up salute. And even me, I'm kind of looking around like, is everyone see that? Is everyone rocking with this?
And listen, if white supremacist Nick Fuentes is calling the kettle black, then I think that walking, quacking thing might be a duck. That was a lot of rhetorical phrases all at once, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying here. There's no way to deny what Steve Bannon just did. And yet, Steve Bannon was accused of making a Nazi salute as he concluded a speech at a conservative gathering. It's freaking CPAC, where President Donald Trump is slated to speak this weekend. But Bannon said Friday the gesture was merely a wave. Steve Bannon said the gesture was not a Roman salute, but was a wave like I did all the time. I do it at the end of all of my speeches to thank the crowd, which I think he's telling the truth. He was just trying to thank the crowd, except the crowd he's talking about is this one. It was so brazen and so egregious that the leader of the far-right party in France just straight up abandoned CPAC and went back home. Jordan Bardella, leader of France's far-right national rally, canceled a planned address at the right-wing CPAC in Washington after Steve Bannon made what appeared to be a Nazi salute on stage. Bannon, Trump's former advisor, was quick to respond to Bardella's cancellation over his gesture, calling him a little boy, not a man, and labeling him unworthy of leading France.
Yes, he's unworthy. If he canceled it over what the mainstream media said about the speech, he didn't listen to the speech. If that's true, he's unworthy to lead France. He's a boy, not a man. Okay, he's a boy, not a man. So if he took what the mainstream media said, I did that exact same wave at Front National 7 years ago when I gave a speech to them. Okay, if he's that worried about it and wets himself like a little child, then he is unworthy and will never lead France.
Was it a Nazi salute?
No, it's a wave. It's a wave like I did all the time. I did it in Front National 7 or 8 years ago. I do it at the end of all my speeches to thank the crowd.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
But no, I want to be quoted. He's a little boy, not a man, and only men or women of strength can lead France.
That's what he once clarified at the end, his little insult about him not being a man, not the fact that it wasn't a Nazi salute. And listen, we can debate it back and forth, but I think it's pretty obvious it's a Nazi salute. I mean, look at the little nod he does after he throws it. That little nod right there. Listen, I was born and raised red-blooded American, my guy. I know the body language of a frumpy conservative who's well past his prime. That little, yeah, that's right, brother nod. He knows why those people are cheering after he threw that salute. It wasn't because he gave him a little wave. And seeing as how the Republican Party has been very openly courting fascism, I think now is the last stop that any reasonable conservative has to get off the American Nazi train before it collides directly with a cliff that Trump has painted a big fake tunnel on. I mean, you'd have to have that Looney Tunes level of delusion in order to not see what the Republican Party has turned into. I hate it, the world hates it, I know you guys hate it, and I hope that these salutes do end up waving the American people out of their stupor so we can kick these Nazis out of the White House. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.
Fight, fight, fight!
Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
Bless all of you for what you're doing. Please keep doing it. I hope that I can encourage you, and my heart goes out to you. God bless.
Throws up a straight up Roman salute. It's getting a little uncomfortable even for me. Even I'm starting to feel like that guy in the picture that wouldn't hail Hitler. It's even getting a little uncomfortable, and I'm saying that, you know?